So Shogun's an adaptation of James Clavell's best-selling novel, and it's set in Japan in the year 1600. So I'm curious, what initially drew you to this series and to the role of Lady Mariko specifically?
Um, I guess because I am Japanese, I've seen so many films, and maybe Western audiences don't really notice the details, but for me, it was a lot of times I would feel a little bit like we were misportrayed. And when I talked to Justin, he gave me um, like he basically talked about how he really wanted to do this right. And it was really important to me that if we were telling a Japanese story, that as a Japanese person, I could proudly say that we were doing it um, authentically and accurately. And I saw that this was going to happen with this show. So I really wanted to work with Justin. And I think with Mariko, I, I found that she was someone who was so powerful um, in a very calm and serene way, which is pretty unusual, I think. And I loved that she wasn't really looking for anyone to save her. She had her own destiny in her hands. And so that's what drew me to playing her.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because everything from the way you talked or walked and even how you bowed, right? It's all so precise. I'm curious, you portrayed your character so perfectly, so I'm wondering what sort of research or preparation did you do to fully embody your character, you know? How did you prepare for this historically rich series?
I had to learn everything. And when I say everything, it's from um, just wearing the clothes, the kimono, walking and sitting down. All that is just very different from how we do it today. I had to learn how to ride a horse and how to write the calligraphy and how to make tea. All of that is, very specific. And so I really learned everything. But that really helped because, like, if I wore the kimono and if I went into makeup and hair, I just felt like Mariko.
Mhm.
So, yeah, just learning everything from also like speaking in her tone in Japanese. We're not speaking normal Japanese. It's periodic Japanese, kind of like Shakespearean
Mhm.
English. Um, and also the way she speaks in English is uh, quite different from how I speak normally. So there was a lot of learning. Everything was a learning process for me.
Yeah, so besides your characters, background and demeanor and all of these, the tone and everything else, the show is also obviously filled with action, but specifically with sword and pole arm battles, right? Which, we see you engage in some episodes. Can you talk a little bit about the training you underwent for this show?
Right. So for the action scenes, Mariko uses a naginata most of the time, and that was a uh, specific tool, a specific armor that women used to use back in the day. And so I had maybe like a couple hours of training with naginata prior to this project, but really had to learn how to wield it because obviously she would have trained with it a lot. So I remember doing some training in Japan before going to Vancouver. And in Vancouver, we had a boot camp with all the backgrounds and all the other actors. And Hiro would come and give us his knowledge, even though he didn't have to be. No one was expecting him to come. Um, but we really learned from the very best. And yeah, I was working with Lash for a long time, for months. And he got to understand what I was good at. And so in the fight scenes, I think he incorporated a lot of the movements that I was, I guess, doing well.
I think you did. Yeah, it looked really cool, honestly.
Thank you.
The whole set, it seemed very professional and I think very strict, but how was it like for you working with the whole cast and crew? I mean, what was the atmosphere like on set?
Um, I wish I could say it was fun and everyone was having a great time, but it was honestly a very tough shoot. So if you stepped on set, there was this certain quality to the air. It was very professional. People were really there to like do the work.
Mhm.
Um, Hero, oh, he really is, um, he really knows how to like talk to the actors who were kind of like for me, it was my first period piece, so I had a lot of questions, but he was very patient with me, but in a peaceful way. It's really strange because he's so stoic, and I was expecting him to be strict, but it was a peaceful way to really approach it, but um, very sensei like. And Cosmo is also very dedicated, and so I was just learning from them. And yeah, it was a very intense shoot, I would say.
Was there anything specific about your character that was particularly hard for you to um do in this set besides, the action part of it, maybe the emotional aspect of it that was pretty hard for you?
I would say, I think the first few episodes, I was still kind of trying to figure out the pace of it all. And so, in that sense, it was hard. But then towards the end, it was more, Mariko had become a part of me to the point that, like, on weekends, I would still feel like her a little bit. I didn't want to go out, I didn't want to meet people. I just wanted to be alone and kind of soak myself in the loneliness.
Mhm.
So, towards the end, it became hard mentally because I felt like I really felt the weight of her.
Mhm. That's crazy. Without giving away any spoilers, can you tell us a little bit about maybe a specific scene or storyline that resonated with you personally? Because I know you said you took this character with you back home, I guess, in a way.
Yeah. Um, I can't talk about
Oh, I'm so
so
sorry.
sorry. Um, she has one scene with her dad, and um I guess meeting the actor, like I was really nervous because I really felt like I was looking at her dad who had already passed away, and she was getting one more day with him. And so that day I remember just like standing in front of the actor who plays her dad, and they were just lining us up, but I looked at him and he had the most peaceful, gentle smile, and he says "Yoroshiku ne," and that's just like, let's do this in Japanese. But like, we weren't even on camera, but like that really um impacted me a lot. And so yeah, I would say that scene was a hard scene to shoot, her wedding scene.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that scene with me, Anna, and I'm sorry I made you cry.
No, no, it's great because she meant that much to me, but it's whenever I think about it, like I just get emotional. I'm sorry about that.
No, I mean, that means it's actually the role for you. It's meant for you, I feel like.
Maybe.
I guess before I do go, what do you hope viewers will take away from this series?
Um, I hope that I hope that it just sparks interest in more Japanese storytelling. Not just any Japanese storytelling, but like authentic, like real stuff that's rooted in our history. And I hope it opens more doors for Japanese storytellers. And I just hope that people have fun, people enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you.